hands are free. The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Good morning, everybody. It's Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. That's all I can tell you today. The show's over. Hey, it's just getting started. It's me, Joe the Box, right here, loving America every day when I get up. I say, Lord, what is your will? What do you need me to do to help save this country and get the word out about our family, faith, and freedom? Actually, it's faith, family, and freedom, right? We want to keep it in order. We thank God when we get up in the morning. We ask him for what's next in our life. And he put us here together on the stage with my great friend, Lisa Azzarelli. She's a rock star when it comes to the schools, saving our schools, an organization that she started and she wants to continue. We're going to help her here at the warehouse. She's a fantastic patriot and advocate. On the left side of me is Johnny Bookend. I mean, Johnny Blanket. What's up, Johnny boy?
Got you covered, Joe. Great to be here. America First Warehouse in Ronkonkoma, the last stop on the train tracks. You got to come out and visit us, and we're going to try to talk about some stuff that we all are interested in and keep us some good conversation this morning. Thanks for having me.
Johnny boy, it's always a pleasure to have you by my side. I feel like I am well protected when you are in my presence. I remember even in high school when those guys tried to start trouble with us, and they didn't realize that they had to deal with both of us.
Yeah, that is an issue because you can't see where it's coming. There's two of us, so we were blessed in that. Always watched out for my brother, but we also had tough sisters, though, too, didn't we?
Yeah, my sister was a real brute. She used to kick some butt. You know what else we used to do, Johnny? Remember we put the American flag on the bottom of our boot. It was a little stick that came with your boot because this way when we kicked you,
You knew where we were from.
you knew what country we came from. Speaking of that, let's not forget the guy all the way on the left. He was a little late this morning, but that's the way it is. He comes all the way from New Jersey. It's the great Fred Rubino, the funniest man on television and on radio at WABC early in the morning. Good morning, Freddie. What's going down?
Good morning. Thank you so much. I thought there'd be a table here. I wasn't going to wear pants, so I'm glad I wore pants today.
Well, the Chiron blocks anything that we don't want to see from you, Freddie.
Good,
all right? So
good.
you're safe with the Chiron.
Thank you.
I want to bring to your attention some of the great things that Donald Trump is doing. But before we get into that and kick off the asset that I brought to the table, behind us are beautiful pieces of art that's created by the artist Nelson Medina. Nelson Medina has been an art connoisseur of the American automobile, foreign automobile. Behind me is an Italian Ferrari. I asked Fred Rubino about his Ferrari. How is it going, Freddie, with yours?
You said it's an Italian Ferrari. I said, are there any Irish Ferraris? Does it run on Guinness or something? What? I don't.
Well, this one runs beautifully. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's a one-of-a-kind piece. And if you move over to Johnny, on the left-hand side, behind over his shoulder, is the GTX, which is a kind of a great, you can't really see it, but you can see it on the main shot. And then behind Freddie is another one. And Nelson is able to really capture depth and shadow when it comes to an artist. Not many guys have this capability, but Nelson has. You can see his work here at the America First Warehouse on a regular basis. We kind of show it. And you can go online at the America First Warehouse. Lisa, I don't know if you know this, but you can get some of his prints from our warehouse on the artist, and Nelson is our artist of the month that we are supporting. Hey, Lisa.
That's when cars were a work of art. Now you buy a car, you buy a Ford Escort, it looks like nothing, you know.
With a little pinstripe in it, it'd be great.
Yeah, you put a little pinstriping on that. I was just about to ask Lisa. I'm thinking that she drives a little red Corvette or something like that around town. And would you like some pinstriping on your car?
Actually, I like fins.
Fins?
Fin girl.
That's an air fin.
Yeah, fin. I like it.
Yeah, on what?
Oh, well, I currently drive. I'm not going to tell you because you'll make fun of me.
I would never. Does it need pinstriping? Because
It does
we,
need pinstriping.
well, you bring that in, and Nelson Medina is going to make that a beautiful piece of work. He does it here at the warehouse. He's got a little shop inside next to a guy that does does some interior work. So all of these great people are patriots like us, and you can find them at the America First Motor Club, which will be opening up right after the Memorial Day weekend. And we're going to be bringing a lot of cars. Matter of fact, Memorial Day weekend, we're working on some big stuff. But let's get to this hilarious couple of minutes left. I don't see the timer, how much we have left, but I know we're getting close. I want to put up Asset One, which is Donald Trump doing exactly what he said he was going to do by closing the border and adding some extra to it. Asset One.
The price solely to jack up profits with no regard.
Companies are putting profits.
Today I signed
Companies are putting profits ahead of people.
Today I signed an executive order to launch the first ever self-deportation program for illegal aliens. We are making it as easy as possible for illegal aliens to leave America. Any illegal alien can simply show up at an airport and receive a free flight out of our country. We have also launched a phone app called CBP Home. That's CBP Home, where illegals can book a free flight to any foreign country. As long as it's not here, you can go anywhere you want.
That is just killed me when I saw that. And who else is going to say something like that? Hey, come on down to the airport, get a free flight to the country that you want, wherever you want to fly. We're even going to give you a little bonus and some water and maybe a cracker on your way. What do you think about this great idea?
No domestic flights. It's any country they want to go to, any country that other than ours, you know. They are illegal. Just another one of them promises that Trump's doing again. Darn it, he's doing what he said he did. What a great country we live in.
It sounds like another Brooklyn saying, hey, go self-deport yourself, will you? But that's fantastic, you know?
Brilliant.
He's making people who came here not to work, to just collect, to actually work. You have to work. You have to go on the site. You go to the airport, and you go self-deport yourself.
I mean, this is excellent because, first of all, the amount of money that each state spends, especially New York in particular, on keeping illegal immigrants here, purchasing them cell phones, giving them places to live, offering them Medicaid and free medical. So $1,000 to give them in their hand, go back where, you know, you want to go, wherever you want to travel all around the world. I think we save money on that as well.
That's beautiful.
Do we know if it's working? Is anybody taking them up on that?
I would have to say yes, but you know what I'll do? I'll give my man Tom Holman a call and ask him how it's working because he's got some great ideas and he is not taking any baloney from anybody. And here's another great one that cracked me up the other day. I don't have an accent on it, Freddie, but you might remember this. He wants to open up Alcatraz. Alcatraz, the most notorious prison in the history of the United States. It's open right now, and it generates a lot of revenue for the state or Sacramento by having $60,000 a month or whatever the number was that they were retaining over there. But we're going to house people in it because Trump, whatever Trump says, it usually happens. You know,
Yeah.
even though they say it's not true, it's really true.
They make a lot of money at Alcatraz right now, like tourism.
Right.
But it's empty. It's like an empty zoo. You put people in there, I bet you more people come. Put like Adam Schiff, put Fauci. I tell you what, that would be booked for 5 years in advance. No one likes an empty zoo.
You know, I got to tell you, Freddie, that is hilarious and absolutely correct. What we can do is we can open up Alcatraz, and maybe Trump might be listening. I know Tommy's listening. I know Rudy's listening. General Flynn once in a while catches a little tour of the America First podcast. And if you're listening, it's a good recommendation. Make it the visiting center for all of us to go visit the criminals. Freddie, you're a genius.
Don't feed Adam Schiff. You have the thing
The
there.
big sign of warning. Stay away from the cage. Don't put your finger in the cage because they'll bite it off.
That's right.
And all this work that we're doing, just making our streets safe. Darn that Trump. Making our streets safe.
I love that he did the open meeting. He had the news come in, and they were witnessing the board meeting between Hegseth and all the top leaders of his administration, open and transparent. So, I mean, the things he says during the meeting are just as funny. You get this relationship with the president that we've never had before.
Well, we kind of had a little glimpse of it when Trump was first elected, but now, after they tried to destroy us and destroy the American dream and the American way of life, now Trump realizes, as he watched them decay, as he watched the country decay, so he went in there with a whole different team, with a whole different, way of looking at things and taking things and terrorizing things, because he's flipping everything upside down. And they're so angry about it because we're destroying their personal lifestyle. They're not destroying us anymore. Trump's saving us, but we're destroying them.
The transparency thing is just magnificent. And you see it now. They just had a story where Saudis wanted to give him a plane as a gift, a jet. And the only reason why we know it is because there's transparency. All these years when they gave Hunter millions of dollars, nobody knew anything. Nobody knew any of the gifts. But I'm going to make a prediction. If the Saudis give him that plane, I guarantee he uses the plane for something incredible, like the deportations or something. Like that's just for the Arab deportations. Maybe halal, maybe put some halal meals on it or something.
Yeah, you know something? You have something else, Freddie, because you bring a whole different perspective on what I thought. I do understand that he's going to use that plane for the presidential library down the road. It is a gift, but here's what cracked me up. We got 40 seconds left if we can get a comment on it. ABC News said, "Oh, it's a gift for you. Now they own you," is basically what they said.
He has a plane.
Thank you,
that's why
Fred.
you can't buy off a billionaire. What are you going to give him?
Did you hear the fake news, Lisa, when he said that?
I always hear this fake news. They make up a whole bunch of stories because they want to give this perception of him that he is this, billionaire who's going to make deals behind the backs of the people. All fake news.
It is the most incredible and despicable thing, but I'm going to tell you right now, WABC, the radio station, that's a different story, right, Freddie? We
Well,
like
I'm
the
on
truth.
every Friday
We got
morning.
2 seconds. I'm cutting you off.
Friday
See
morning.
you after the break.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Donna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
I'm Mike Simonelli, retired Army officer, retired police officer, proud father of a United States Marine. I fought overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan to protect our country. I served in the streets of Suffolk to protect our residents. And now I'm running with Karen Ricciardi and Al Carfora to protect our children from anything that doesn't have to do with academic excellence, to protect our teachers and staff from hazardous work environments, and to protect our taxpayers from fraud, waste, and abuse. Vote for us on May 20th, the Smithtown School Board, Smithtown's conservative choice.
It's me, Joe the Box, America First, warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. Hey, you know this guy over here, Rudy Giuliani? He always tells the truth. You know what he told me? Let's support Pete Hegseth. President Trump supports Pete Hegseth. This man will be honest and hardworking for our great country. I support him. I also stand with Rudy. Peace!
In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
I told you this was crazy. I'm out of here. No dice. Free stuff for all.
I have to be such a downer.
For you, bow to the master staff. Come to me.
Oh my god, this guy's from Jersey!
Hi, how you doing? Fuck off my stage.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve. Oh! Oh!
wet on my side. Now instead of a poke, you're getting a smack!
What have I done?
We're back.
So here we are on Tune In Tuesdays, and we have a great guest coming up, Coach Prasak. He's a notorious pastor. We'll call him notorious because he comes on the warehouse. You got to be notorious. He's here. He's going to talk about civic involvement and engagement. He has a lot to teach us about how you get involved in your local politics. Many people, they show up for oftentimes a presidential election, and they forget the little things that count the most, because when you are locally involved, you really make the most difference in your community. So hopefully we'll have Coach Prasak on here soon. And before we get to him, let's talk about local engagement here. We have our Board of Education races coming up. May 20th, and that is the basic where you should get involved. So Board of Education races matter because those board members will help to dictate what is going to be in your child's school and classroom. And in most states, as we know, there's been a lot of controversy about how the education system has kind of gone off the rails very much. And here we also want to applaud the Massapequa School District for staying on the rails. We know that President Trump has also brought that to the attention by noting that the Massapequa Chiefs are trying so very hard to keep their long-held mascot and identity. We know, too, that some tribes are also beginning to speak out against the erasure of the tribal signs and symbols. So on that note, what do we feel about the taking away of certain cultures that are long-standing American historical landmarks?
Well, the landmarks, not only the landmarks, but let's just look at the basic. When I was a young boy and I went to school, Manasquan Elementary School in the rough neighborhood of Dix Hills, we stood and we said the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. Johnny, do you remember that?
Of course I do. I didn't know that it ever stopped, you know. But we're talking about our local school elections that are coming on May 30th. May 20th. I think that, it's something I know. I was sleeping at the switch when I was younger, and then all of a sudden now we're seeing the way our children are turning out from the education material they've been learning. We got to step in. We got to get out there and get the right people in. I mean, it's so important.
The schools are ground zero for making America great again. Because if you lose them in the early years, you lost them forever. And when I was a kid, like you said, with cultural things, we had a cultural day at school. Everybody celebrated their culture. The Irish kids, the Italian kids. Sometimes we'd bring in something that was special to our culture. Usually it was food. And it was celebrated. You weren't evil. You aren't, oh, this is what you did to this country. So I think to celebrate everybody's heritage instead of demonizing it is the first step forward. And everybody, I brought in lasagna. The Irish kid.
The Floyd statues. What about that? All
the
that
Floyd
stuff
statues, that's heavy.
Away?
You can't bring that into school. They have a new statue now, the big black woman in Times Square. Is that Letitia?
That's what I was told.
I think they should put a jumpsuit on her and put her in Alcatraz.
There seems to be getting a lot of feedback on that, negativity too from the black female community, because they feel as though, why that particular statue? What are you representing about our community? Why a T-shirt and jeans? What are you really saying? So I think that has caused a lot of controversy too among that particular culture and demographic of people.
Yeah, there are so many great black women that made this country great. Would it have killed them to put up a statue of a great black woman from American history instead of just, this woman looks like she just trashed a McDonald's? It's just, not everyone is a hero. That's why we hold up the heroes. That's why we were mad when they tore down the statues during the Floyd riots. And so there are so many great black women, American women, to not honor them. It was just they were slapping themselves in the face, which I'd like to see.
Yeah, they continue to destroy themselves, which I'm really just fine with, But I had a discussion with my son the other day, and he, his school experience was 20, 25 years later than my school experience. And I was upset with the books that the school was trying to put through, White Prince, Dark Knight, all these different, books that had sexual innuendos, and some of that was even explicit. And he said, well, Dad, weren't we groomed as children too? And I said, yes, you were groomed. You were groomed in the ways of Jesus Christ. What is right and what is wrong through the word of the gospel and through the word of the book. That's what I brought you up to be. And I do understand he wants to bring a discussion to me because I'm so, put my blinders on when it comes to so many issues. Now, what I tried to tell him was that the teachers were my idols. My teacher happened to be the wrestling coach, and I was a wrestling champion. The only one that beat me was my brother one time.
So you were the one that was sucking weight. But, yeah, they were, we were friends with them, too, and it was nothing political. They loved the sports. We took them to hockey games, and, it was a great place. I really enjoyed those guys, and they were, mentors for me. And
well, exactly. That's my point. So now my son's going to school, and they're looking at their teacher, and they had mentors as well. So if this mentor is saying to them, hey, I think you should look at this. I'm just, they are influential on the kids. So it's the books is one thing, but it's also the schools. And I understand. Can you clean that out, Lisa? Is that something that we can go back to? Will these mandates that President Trump is putting in help us to clean up the schools and the craziness?
I think that we have a battle ahead of us, especially in those states that are a one-party government, right? So here in New York, we're seeing it predominantly, and because they actually just had a court case, upstate New York. A lovely family had moved here from Greece a few years back due to the struggles with Greece's economy. So they came to America hopeful for a better life, did it legally, and the one of the children, the youngest child, was struggling to adjust in school. And so the parent was relying on the guidance counselors and the social workers to help the child adjust. And over a 2-year period, they became more and more secretive towards the parents, and began encouraging this child to express herself in other ways. Oh, you have anxiety for this or anxiety for that. And after a 3-year period, it began a biological transition, or an attempted gender transition, as they say. And so this then led to a lawsuit. And unfortunately, due to Proposition 1 and other laws that were passed here in New York, the court ruled in favor of the school district, and said that the parents had no right to knowing what was going on as far as the school keeping the transition of the child private. This is not okay.
Do we have the coach on? Do I see the coach on there? Control room? Because I'd like to get his comments. Let's bring him on. Coach, how you doing? We're so happy to have you here with us.
Welcome.
Well, we hear you pretty good over here, and we were going about civic involvement and what it is, what does it mean locally, and you are really a leader in this. Can you fill us in on how civic responsibility, why it's so important?
That opportunity, and I think that as a coach, I want to lead by example. And I've listened in to your conversation with great interest, and I appreciate what the America First Warehouse is doing, to bring these issues into the public square and proclaim the truth from a biblical perspective. But at the same time, I want to challenge you because I see a lot of my peers, Christians, conservatives, who have strong opinions and strong convictions and about what is right and what is wrong. Many of them are very vocal on social media, for example, or on a podcast, for example, or They rail against what the politicians are doing, and I'm with them. I'm with you in that fight. I think we should do all those things, but I do have a challenge. Have you been to a school board meeting and spoken?
Yes.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah,
because
we're all
okay.
involved. We're all yes on that one.
I thought he was going to challenge you to a wrestling match.
I'm ready. I was a
Lenny.
wrestling champion, coach.
Okay, Joe. Okay, since you brought it up, one, I admire that I too had a coach, and that is why they call me coach, is he had such an influence in my life. I am approaching 70 years old, Joe. 5 times a week, I only do 1 set of push-ups. How many do you think I do in 1 set?
10. My brother says 10. I'm
10.
going to give you 20.
I'm going to say 50.
Lisa?
I'm going to say at least 75.
75 push-ups. 75.
Well, coach, you got us. What are you doing?
Is there a time limit or 24 hours?
I think he froze.
No, it's just 1 set. It's just 1 set. I actually do 250 push-ups in 1 set 5 times a week. Now, there was a time when
Maybe you shouldn't wrestle him.
But what that is indicative of, believe me, I dread it. I hate it. The only thing I like about doing it is when I'm done. I have slain that dragon. But it does take discipline. Motivation's not enough. We can't summon motivation, but we can exercise discipline. And, I just urge my conservative Christian counterparts, or even if you're not a Christian, you're just a conservative. But I reach out to all of us to, as we work social media, as we complain, as we cast our votes, if we are not actually appearing, think about it. There's a stage there. I get 3 minutes.
Hey, Coach.
They
We're coming to a hard break. I want you to hold over. Would you be able to stay with us? Because your point is well taken. I want you to continue that. We got a couple seconds left. We're going to be taking a break. Will you join us? Stick around?
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much. We love America here at the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Donna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a 1-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
I'm Mike Simonelli, retired Army officer, retired police officer, proud father of a United States Marine. I fought overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan to protect our country. I served in the streets of Suffolk to protect our residents. And now I'm running with Karen Ricciardi and Al Carfora to protect our children from anything that doesn't have to do with academic excellence, to protect our teachers and staff from hazardous work environments, and to protect our taxpayers from fraud, waste, and abuse. Vote for us on May 20th, the Smithtown School Board, Smithtown's conservative choice.
It's me, Joe the Box, America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. Hey, you know this guy over here, Rudy Giuliani? He always tells the truth. You know what he told me? Let's support Pete Hegseth. President Trump supports Pete Hegseth. This man will be honest and hardworking for our great country. I support him. I also stand with Rudy. Peace!
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
I told you this was crazy. I'm out of here.
No lights. Free stuff for all.
I have to be such a downer.
For you, bow to the master staff. Come to me.
Oh my God, this guy's from Jersey.
Hi, how you doing? Fuck off my stage.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve.
Wet on my side. Now instead of a poke, you're getting a smack.
What have I done?
Hey, we're back here at the America First Warehouse with Coach Prasak, who's still with us. Coach, you still with us? You were making a very good point, and I'd like you to continue that. We were talking about the discipline and the school, and fill us in a little bit more, Coach. We got about 5 minutes with you.
About 5 minutes. Well, this preacher would have a hard time keeping it within 5 minutes, but I will honor your time. I wanted to mention a couple of things. One is I'm involved with an organization called the Mordecai Mission. It is a group of Christian conservatives that are very adherent to biblical principles with the goal of placing Christians in leadership positions in politics or in government. We don't like politics, government. And we believe that by doing so, these people would be guided by godly and righteous principles that would be a benefit to all Americans. But in the brief time that we have remaining, I want to turn our attention to a story in the Bible, I think, that's applicable to the point here. And it's the story of the three men, each of which received 10 talents. As you may recall, one of them invested them, used them, applied them, worked with them, and prospered and was blessed. There was another man that simply buried his talents and was not only rebuked, but his talents were then given to the man who had multiplied what he was given. There was a third man who he did a little bit with it. So if you are voting, if you care about these issues, if you're active on social media, if you're casting your vote wisely in concert, in congruence with your principles, I would ask you, you have a stage in a public forum with the very people that make the decisions that you are complaining about. If you're not going to those meetings, if you are not placing yourself on the agenda, you can make an excuse saying, I'm not good at public speaking, whatever, okay? Get over it. Moses said that too, you know. But if you're not taking advantage of the opportunities that we are given, they can't tell you what to say or what to not say. We have a platform. If you're not doing that, ask yourself the question, which of the three men that were given 10 talents would represent you?
That is a great reference in the Bible, and I recall, Coach, the Mordecai Mission, which is the book of Esther, for such a time as this. But I love the direction that you are taking with the Mordecai Mission in this principle. Now, when you talk to us on the stage, we are all activists, we are all rebels, rogues, and outlaws when it comes to the rights and the beliefs that we have in this great nation. Each one of us are involved in one way or another. We got involved through the grace of God. We love what you're doing. Can you tell us what's next with the Mordecai Mission, and how's my friend Pastor Green doing?
Oh, I talk to Pastor Green all the time. And very briefly, in the time we have left, Mordecai Mission is really making some progress on getting appearances on various podcasts. For example, I'm on this podcast as an ambassador, as a representative of Mordecai Mission, and we greatly appreciate our partnership with the America First Warehouse. Later today, I'll be on another podcast with Sean Crenshaw. And it's funny, I have my own podcast. I have done I've probably done nearly 1,000 episodes, but I have been invited to other people's podcasts very seldom. So I very much cherish the opportunity to appear here on your podcast. And the Lord is just opening doors all over the place, and we're live streaming. So our social media presence, in spite of the headwind that we all run against as conservative Christians in that theater of battle, is actually being blessed, and doors are opening, and we are excited about the future. But no amount of individual effort wins. It's teamwork, and I appreciate the teamwork that the America First Warehouse has extended to us, and the hospitality and the fellowship. and the partnership. So I greatly appreciate this opportunity to stand alongside you all and fight a worthwhile and righteous battle for a cause that will the ripples of which will extend into eternity. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
God bless you, sir. We are so blessed to have you here at the America First Warehouse. You will see more of the Mordecai mission here at the America First Warehouse. We love you to come back and share the next topic and the communication and the education. We're even going to do a commercial for you. Make a note of that upstairs, Billy. I want a Mordecai mission commercial. God bless you, Coach. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, brother.
Then we're going to bring in Stephanie Legit. I know you're out there someplace. Stephanie, where are you hiding? What's happening with Kathy Holschel? And what is she doing to our state? What happened? All right. Listen, well, if the coach is still in there, we'll bring him back in. Coach, you still around?
Be glad to. Yeah, I just grabbed my Copenhagen. I went almost 10 minutes without it, and that's about the longest
good
I've ever
chew.
gone, Joe.
Hey, Coach, what can I tell you? This is how God works. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. Let me just add something since we've got a couple minutes, and please feel free to break in whenever your other guest becomes available. Because let me talk about opportunities. Opportunities are good luck, Zig Ziglar says, is when opportunity meets preparedness. Now, I've been attending these school board meetings, and even though the superintendent of our schools here was the opponent in the political race, he's the Democrat, and he won, but I extended my courtesy, shook his hand, and while we were kind of talking, the chair, who is a Republican, approached him and said, "Oh my gosh, the pastor that normally leads our opening prayer won't be able to be here today. What are we going to do?" I was called upon to lead the invocation prayer at last night's school board meeting here in Jefferson County, Florida. What an opportunity. Would I have gotten that opportunity? Would I not have been there? Would I have gotten that opportunity if I didn't go to my political opponent and extend a hand of fellowship and kindness and cooperation and partnership, trying to find common ground? I know that the audience here is hardcore Republican, so am I. But I will say this, I will work with anybody if it's a good idea on that idea.
Well, you're a very open and good man, because that's how good Christians are supposed to be. And I ask God to give me the ability to forgive on a regular basis, but it's not so easy, Pastor. Hey, Freddie, you got any forgiveness?
I got a lot of forgiveness.
You need it.
I've forgiven a lot of things, especially today. Yeah. But I think, when he makes a point that you have to go, a lot of times you hear things like about the school board meeting and even you doubt it. Because you're like, how could that be? How could they be teaching a 5-year-old things about homosexuality and the rainbow? And then, so you doubt it. But if you actually go to these things and you actually see it for your own eyes, it's 10 times worse when you go there in person and see how evil these people are and their real agenda. So I think that's a real important thing. Go see it for yourself. Don't leave it to the fake news to tell you what's going on.
Yeah, because if you don't show up, you're not going to be able to change anything with it. And what more disturbing to me is to hear that they're telling their children to keep it away from their mother and father. I think it's the parents' fault. They need to be a little bit more involved and know what's going on, and we can't let them shut us down. That's crazy.
When I was a kid, the teachers were always, send a note home to your parents. I want your parents here. One year, my parents were in school as much as I was. I mean, there was nothing held back from parents. It was, you were in fear. You got in trouble. Bring your parents in.
When my sons got in trouble down in Florida, they had a great school system over there. They would go, "Don't call my dad. Whatever you do, don't call my dad." Of course, they'd call me right away, and I'd, get them all upset and yell at while the teachers were there. All right, let's go.
Yeah, well, how blessed are we? Coach, we want to thank you very much for coming on to our show. We think that the Mordecai mission is an important asset to the country. We love what you're doing, and you talk about opportunities. So God put you in that space last night. and you did your prayer at the school board meeting in Jefferson or Jackson, Florida, that you had said. Is Florida 100% on board with the changes that Trump is putting through and the right to school choice with 2 minutes left?
Have you heard of our governor?
Yeah,
Fill us in. We don't have a governor
There's your
like him.
answer.
Fill us in.
Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida.
Sure.
And I had the opportunity to work with his staff while he was a United States congressman, but he has really knocked it out of the park here in Florida and has led the way and is 100% on board. In fact, Florida has implemented its own state program that mirrors DOGE, literally mirrors DOGE. Florida is big because of DeSantis and others' leadership on things like school choice. Governor DeSantis was one of the ones that sent busloads of illegal immigrants to sanctuary cities, along with Governor Abbott. He is a firebrand. So now, as you get further south in Florida, we have what we call the I-4 corridor, which is right through the middle of the peninsula. Once you get south of that, you're in a different country. So it's very blue there. But the vast majority of Florida is GOP, it's red, it's agricultural interest, it's conservative Christians. Even where I live, even Democrats sit next to us in church, okay? It's not the same brand of Democrats that we would recognize today. These are people who, yes, we have our differences, but you know, they are very disturbed by their leadership, and let's hold on to that hope that the Democratic Party will eject its current leadership and replace them with something that's more middle ground, that's more palatable, that we can work together. I find it hard to work together. I'm not going to work together with someone who wants to not only permit but promote pornography to our children.
Well, listen,
Okay.
Coach, this is everything that we've been talking about. We got 16 seconds left, so I'm going to end it here by saying thank you so much, Lord, for bringing Coach Prasak here to us at the America First Warehouse. We support the Mordecai mission and everything you're doing. God bless America. God bless you, Coach. Thanks for coming.
Thank you again for the opportunity.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Jordan is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
I'm Mike Simonelli, retired Army officer, retired police officer, proud father of a United States Marine. I fought overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan to protect our country. I served in the streets of Suffolk to protect our residents. And now I'm running with Karen Ricciardi and Al Carfora to protect our children from anything that doesn't have to do with academic excellence, to protect our teachers and staff from hazardous work environments, and to protect our taxpayers from fraud, waste, and abuse. Vote for us on May 20th, the Smithtown School Board, Smithtown's conservative choice.
It's me, Joe the Box, America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. Hey, you know this guy over here, Rudy Giuliani? He always tells the truth. You know what he told me? Let's support Pete Hegseth. President Trump supports Pete Hegseth. This man will be honest and hardworking for our great country. I support him. I also stand with Rudy. Peace!
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
I told you this was crazy. I'm out of here.
No dice. Free stuff for all.
I have to be such a downer.
For you, bow to the master staff. Come to me.
Oh my God, this guy's from Jersey.
Hi, How you doing? Fuck up my stage.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve. Oh! Oh!
A little wet on my side. Now instead of a poke, you're getting a smack.
What have I done?
Welcome back. Tune in Tuesdays. We got you here on the America First podcast. Thank you for being part of our audience and listening into the fabulous things we have to say here today. We just had Coach Prazak, and in this last segment, we're going to discuss some new initiatives on Trump's executive order on pharmaceuticals. Breakthrough with him and RFK, discussing how our pharmaceutical sales need to be competitive with other countries. So we pay a lot more. If you didn't know, we pay a lot more than other countries do. And our recipients suffer as a result of that. They're denied some benefits as well for certain drugs that may be more effective than others. We have an asset here. We'd like to go to asset 2, which is going to bring back some memories.
Companies are putting profits ahead of people. Pharmaceutical drug prices are astronomically high, too high, way too high, and something needs to be done about them.
Here in America, it will not surprise you to know that we pay the highest prescription drug prices of any developed nation in the world.
UK $41, United States of America $424.
They're probably not as cheap as they should be or could be.
Why are the pharmaceutical companies charging double what they are in other countries for the drugs that her kids need to stay alive?
Found that the manufacturers set the price solely to jack up profits with no regard for whether families would be able to afford it. So it's time for government to step in on the side of the American people to stop this extortion.
There is no reason for a drug as simple as insulin, which costs $21 in Canada for a 10 milliliter bottle, to cost the equivalent of a mortgage payment or sometimes 2 mortgage payments.
The Democrats are the ones that allowed this to happen. They were the ones that were the protector of this pricing system.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So we have the truth there from the Democrats. And it's true, when they held the Senate and the Assembly, they did not push forward on making sure that these drug prices went down. But now we have Trump, promises made, promises kept. And we see that he has imparted now a new executive order for bringing down the pharmaceutical costs along with RFK Jr. But let's also recall that we had the wonderful Dr. Stella Emanuel on our show recently, who said, first and foremost, let's think about our own personal health and try to build our own immunological systems. And that is important as well. But when we can, and we need those beneficial medicines to help us get to the next step of recovery or health, we need to know that they can be affordable to us. Gentlemen, what do you think?
I think it's great news. It was, matter of fact, it reminded me of our first segment. We were talking about some of the funny things that Donald Trump had said, and he brought this up because of a good friend of his. He says, very wealthy friend, and he was in England, and he was talking to Donald on the phone on how he's taking this a drug to lose weight. And, of course, Donald says, well, it's not working too good. He says, well, that's not the point, Donald. The point is that I'm paying $85 for it here in London and $1,500 while I'm in New York. Wow. Ding. What's going on? Yeah. Thank you, Donald Trump, again.
First, he's getting rid of tips, right? Taxes on tips.
And overtime.
So now he just got all the strippers' votes. He won all the strippers' votes who get the... Now, Viagra is going to be half price. Strippers, Viagra, you give me free beer, and I say you make him the emperor of America, never mind the president.
Yeah, all the Bud Light you like, I'm sure you can have.
All the Bud Light. It is nothing he won't tackle. That's the greatness about him, because he's not in anyone's pocket.
Well,
Once
it's obviously
you're not
clear.
in anyone's pocket.
I loved it. I loved it yesterday. When he was in there and you were talking about the airplane. They're going to gift him the airplane. And somebody says, your personal airplane. He goes, what are you, ABC News? I know you're ABC News because you're fake news. And that's the way you asked that question. He totally obliterated them. I laughed so hard I was on the floor.
If that plane is anywhere close to Trump's plane, I'll eat my hat. Trump's plane is Trump's plane. It's like if you have the Italian Ferrari there, not the Irish Ferrari, and someone gives you a Ford Escort. You're like, what do I need this Ford Escort for? I got a Ferrari. I'm sure that plane is going to be donated to somebody or somewhere.
It ain't going to Trump. The only president doesn't take a salary. But the thing with the supporting, this pharmaceutical stuff, that is important that we clean that up because we need these pharmaceuticals, And annoying as it is, I mean, you can't even watch a television without seeing 10 commercials for pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, that
what
used
else
to-
do
you're
I
right.
need?
You're right. And it used to not be
Any
like
ailment.
that, right? So the pharmaceutical companies got a pass on that and they started putting their commercials on. But more importantly is that there was a congressional meeting during COVID and the main minerals for all of the medications were mostly coming from China. And that was a huge problem because if they wanted to turn around and say, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that available, then especially things like the basics for anesthesia or heart medications that people were reliant on, diabetic medications. And so I'm hoping that not only does he make this EO to lower the costs, but also let's get it made more in America again. Let's get those minerals back here as well so that we can definitely make sure that we have what America needs.
So this executive order was signed yesterday, and to see that clip of all those politicians that are bringing this to America pays so much more than everybody else does. Never was anything done about it. What are their reactions now? I mean,
Three of those
can
people
they knock him on that?
Three of those people that were showed were came out were getting money from Big Pharma, millions of dollars.
Yeah. All small
Pocahontas
donations.
was getting like $1.5 million. So they're paid to say that they're working on it, but they're not working on it.
Not. And Freddie brought up a good point, too. I want to go back to the tips for a hot second because that is a major, major player. And I found it was funny, and I share this with you, that the Democrats are saying, oh, people are tired of tipping. This is going to make things worse that he's taking the tax off tips. Now they're really not going to get tips. That is their only argument, that people are tired of tipping. And so now they won't get tips at all.
They'll think of anything. It's the most ridiculous. They're not even smart enough to get a good rebuttal. It's people are sick of tipping. You know who's not sick of tipping? The single mother waitress who's looking to support her kid. So
Well,
I just hope
appreciate-
now that the $20 that you give for a lap dance is not tipped, and now it lasts longer.
There's a lot of other businesses out there that rely on the tips too. Any kind of service business. And these people work hard for it. I know for me, I've always paid cash on the tip, so that they didn't have to pay the tax on it. So looking
Usually
forward to
anything
They're
that
coming to get you, Johnny.
Usually, anything that you tip, any industry that is tip orientated, is not the top of the line. It's usually they really need those tips to survive.
I agree with that. I have a couple of boys. They worked in the service. They were serving drinks and dinners and stuff. And they
Moving
worked on
business.
the moving truck, a big service that we provide. All right, so we got 4 minutes left here.
Right.
Each one of us got something that's happening at the warehouse. Starting with Lisa, asset number 1. Tell us what's happening.
Yes, big, beautiful. America's Golden Age of Freedom concert is coming here for June 14th in celebration of both Flag Day and President Trump's birthday. So the raffle, there's a wonderful raffle going on. If we pull up Asset 1, you can see that you can receive this amazing artwork by Elena Rusefa. So the $10 per ticket for the raffle going on now. It will be drawn on June 7th. So please do not miss this opportunity. You can purchase via Venmo or come by, right here by the warehouse, purchase your ticket yourself. So go to the website, check it out. Don't miss the opportunity to grab this amazing artwork by Elena Rusefa.
Now, that's all the way in June. Did you say June 14th?
Correct.
Well, June 14th, Flag Day, and the great President Trump's birthday. But I'm going to tell you something that's happening very soon, and I think I'm on asset number 2 or flyer number 2, and it's Project Civica coming on May 15th at 6 to 9. The Knights of Columbus and Nostradamus Avenue in Brooklyn is holding this event. We want American patriots. We want civic action. And Joe the Box will be down there in Brooklyn because it's not just Ronkonkoma. It's all of Long Island that we want to fill the empty committee seats, and we want to push the America First agenda. Go to the America First warehouse. Find out that date on May 15th, and I'll see you down in Brooklyn.
Well, I appreciate you calling on me because I only want to bring the truth. I happen to have the truth right here. It's in my pocket right here. I'm sure you want to see that. And the truth is, if you want to hear the truth, you watch Real America Voice Monday through Friday between 8 and 10 and watch live from Studio 6B. What a great bunch of guys, informative. And then come here on a Friday night. What else you got to do? What a great time. Meet these guys afterwards, have conversation, maybe even smoke a cigar. What a great place to be on a Friday night than the America First Warehouse with Studio 6B.
Can I elaborate a little bit on that? I'm sorry, Freddie.
Go
'cause
ahead,
Freddie's
elaborate.
He's been waiting.
half
He's
an
been waiting.
elaborator.
I want to elaborate on that. These guys have been doing a show here around the corner, and it's been in the studio, and it's very nice. And they got a great way about themselves. They're, real America First guys, one-on-one. Paul Nolan is a contractor. Big D was a school teacher. Rick Amarati with his fancy wardrobes. He's a big guy with the Chamber of Commerce. Rick Delgado was a radio guy. Kevin Downey Jr. is hilarious, also on the radio. These 6 men have come into the warehouse on a Friday night. When it's done, we're going outside. Max Cigar Truck Mobile is going to be out there. Frank Steakhouse this time. He promised me he's going to be here on time, and he also promised to have enough steak. Thank you very much. We'll see you Friday night.
Collaboration, Joe. Way to go.
Freddie, we got
May 31st, right here. It's Country Western Line Dancing Night. Now, listen, you're going to have an instructor here from TikTok. She's a famous instructor, Callie, to teach you line dancing. It's finally a dance guys could do. Because you ever see guys dance? Oh. We do the shuffle back and forth. But now you could come here. It's going to be a great night. Everyone's going to be together here. And listen, there's no wrong way to dance. You copy the person in front of you. It's like when you took the SATs. You copied off the guy in front of you. So come out, Country Western, May 31st. Wear your cowboy hat, the one with the American flag on it. Something patriotic, something Western. I don't think there's anything more American than country Western music.
Is that what it is? A country Western line dancing situation going on?
Yes, it
there?
is.
What
and
about
it's
the
gonna be
electric slide? Isn't that like a disco thing going on?
Oh, I'll do
Walters
that.
be there? Maxine Waters be there for the electric
Well,
slide?
listen, we might.
If you're Amish, it's a candle slide, not the electric slide.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. We only care about the truth. We love America. We love our great president, what he's doing. One more asset, 10 seconds left. Lisa.
One more here. We're going to end it again on the America's Golden Age of Freedom concert. Will be June 14th. Come down and see Joe Pickett, voted Long Island's best piano entertainer, followed by world-renowned pianist Peter Vamos. Tickets are $47 if you buy them early, $60 if you buy them later. Get to the warehouse. Get your tickets for the Golden Age Freedom concert.
Peace.
Show. I thought it went well.
We have a little break.